What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the best teams for you to be investing in for the month of April 2022. We've got a brand new team coming to the game that looks to be the best team overall, so it's definitely going to be one you want to invest in. A couple of teams have gotten pushed down a little bit. Eternals have kind of fallen off because of the new team coming in. So we're going to break down who you should be investing in, what to be keeping in mind for these teams as you're investing into them, and really just teams overall are going to get you the most return in terms of arena, raids, alliance war, your big important game modes. We're going to be breaking that all down in today's video. So if you guys do enjoy this video or find it helpful or informative, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's dive right into it. So we got to start by talking about the brand new team this month, and that is going to be Darkhold. And this is your new arena meta. And in our testing so far, they are dominant across the board. In Alliance War, they beat everything. On Alliance War defense, they are pretty much only countered by mirror matches, and Weapon X can beat them, but it can get a little sketchy depending on how things go with the fight. If you can't take out Morgan quickly on the Darkhold team, you it kind of falls apart because she gets a lot of speed bar boost with them. And the nice thing is, overall, these characters aren't that bad in terms of unlocks. Doctor Strange Heartless is a campaign event going on right now. Very, if you're end game player doing the heroic difficulty, new players are having an issue with the hard campaign, which we're going to talk about that in another video at some point. But Scarlet Witch was already released, and she is easy to get in the arena store. Wong is a blitz that is going to start tonight, and Agatha Harkness has some kind of upcoming event. So all these characters are relatively easy to unlock except for Morgan. We are still waiting to hear exactly how we unlock Morgan. This is going to tie into another team that I highly recommend you invest in. She's going to be part of a Scourge event, and the language around this is still ambiguous. We don't quite know how easy she will be to unlock. The data mines suggest that she should be relatively easy to unlock, though her red stars look really slimy, according The red star release for her is really slimy if this data mine is true. With Morgan, we're going to figure out how all this pans out. But Morgan is going to be through a new Scourge event. And if you really want to get her, it's recommended that you build up either Dark Hunters or Web Warriors. If you're doing difficulty 6 or above, you have nodes that require one of these two teams. And if you're going to build one team over the other, Web Warriors, in my opinion, is the better one, because simply they are just an absolute monster team inside raids. The bio raid nodes are so easy with this team. You can see I've got two of these characters up at tier 16, Scarlet and Ghost Spider. I use them both in city. I'm now working my way through the global nodes right now until we get into Cosmic. But yeah, Web Warriors is just an incredibly powerful team. And this is what I'm running at 2.2 in the bio nodes on the right. So my bio nodes are at the very end, and this is holding up very well in 2.2. I'm surprised. I did not expect tier 12 Web Warriors. Granted, they are level 75 with Blue ISO, which they have to be if you have Blue ISO on them. I did not expect tier 12 Web Warriors to be holding up still at 2.2 in the Doom raid. But this is I would say this is one of the most important teams for you to invest in right now, because we just don't know how hard this unlock for Morgan Le Fay is going to be. And if there's one team that you need to invest in to unlock her, between this or Dark Hunters, I take Web Warriors all day. So one question that's going to pop up, of course, is with Darkhold coming in, being the new arena meta, what's going to happen with these two? And honestly, if you've got them built up already, fantastic. You're in a great spot. These two characters are not bad now. They're still amazing characters. They won't really be arena meta, but they are going to dominate in Alliance War on both offense and defense. I've got them built up for Dark Dimension 5, but they're also going to be a mainstay in the Mystic Raid, I believe. And we're going to do some testing with that on the test server with Darkhold and Eternals, kind of see how things go, because I think really this is going to start to push your new Warriors out of the Alliance raid in terms of being that meta Mystic team for the raids, especially at those higher difficulties. The new Warriors kind of have some issues. You know, it doesn't help that they've got some counters built in automatically in those Mystic raids, but we do want to see some testing to see how Darkhold and Eternals kind of do, if that's really going to be the new meta for the Mystic nodes. But yeah, this team, yeah, they're still amazing, but if you haven't really built them up yet, you don't want to because they all both require Mystic gear, and the Darkhold team is full Mystic. And at this point, you're much better off investing your Mystic gear into these characters. Once you have these characters built up with that Mystic gear, we should be in a good spot for a while before we see another dominant Mystic team come in. Also, it should be noted, Dark Hunters, also a Mystic team, so the more gear you're seeing in that Dark Hunters versus Web Warriors for the Morgana Scourge event, that means a lot less Mystic gear going to be going into these guys. So that is something to keep in mind too. But, you know, honestly, Eternals should be your secondary priority for Mystic gear. At this point, there's nothing I just wouldn't recommend building up Eternals if you haven't already, because Darkhold's just way more important in terms of a team to be building up. So moving on from there, really the raids are like your most important thing, and this is something I talk about quite often. Astonishing X-Men, this is what I'm running right now in 2.2, and they do okay. You know, if I need to build them up more, I will. If we go into 2.3 and I need to build them up some more, I will. This is one I stress a lot, and I know there's some disagreement from people on it, but my thing with this is that like they have issues with Doom 2, and I think at some point we'll see a new mutant raid team come out, because we've seen like with symbiotes, we got the Web Warriors come in, and you have to keep in mind, Astonishing X-Men came out back when the Doom 1 raid was a thing. And, you know, Astonishing X-Men ran right over those nodes. And you got up to Doom 2, there's a lot of timeout issues. So you do need to build them up. However, and this is something I always stress, only build them up as much as you need to. Don't put a lot of excess gear in them. Like, I have Jubilee for tier 16 for the legendary nodes in DD5. She's just one of the better legendary options right now. But the rest of the team, I'll keep at 14 and 15 on the gear tier. I'm not going to build them up beyond that. I've got some pretty solid stars across the board on them. 5 red, 7 yellow on most of them, except for Kitty. Maybe at some point, I'm sitting on like 450 silver credits now, so I'll probably take her up to 5 red if I need to. But, you know, just do the bare minimum to make sure your Astonishing X-Men are going to get through those nodes without too much of an issue. In terms of raids, or in terms of other raids, I mean, Secret Avengers, your skill characters, still amazing. Really good options for the global DD5 nodes if you're into that thing. Sam and Maria are just absolutely amazing. Sharon is great too. Your Secret Avengers are the heart of your skill teams, and, you know, Kestrel is another part of this too. Yeah, she's amazing in both tech and skill nodes, and the tech nodes, always a big issue. And, you know, for the tech nodes, I've got Kestrel and Doom, and then I bring in like Star-Lord, T'Challa, and then I'll bring in like Stitcher, I'll bring in Doc, Lady Deathstrike. You know, there's some really good options out there. I know people use Shuri as well. I've never really built up Shuri, which, I mean, yeah, there's nothing wrong bringing in Shuri. Shuri has that defense up, which is amazing. But, yeah, Kestrel, Star-Lord, T'Challa, Doom, Doc, and then, like, Deathstrike, Stitcher, Boomer, Ghost. Misty and I are bringing to that first node, just kind of eat things, but, you know, there's some really good options for tech here. T'Challa has pretty much become a mainstay, and usually, besides Doom and Kestrel, has been like there's some days where even I'd say Star-Lord T'Challa is doing better than Kestrel or Doom in those tech nodes. It's a little situational, it just kind of depends on the RNG, and it's a mess. But also, you know, at some point we should be seeing a tech raid or tech raid team. And the rumor is like a power armor with Iron Man and Hulkbuster. But those rumors say, the rumors are inconsistent on when that team's coming. And it's a possibility that we're going to get a legendary horseman that's going to be part of that team. But if it is a legendary horseman, we are just now getting Morgan. And it's usually a good 3 months between legendaries. So we still have a few months, if the rumors are true, about the legendary and this new tech raid team. If that's the rumor and that turns out to be true, we've got a while to go before we get to a solid tech raid team. And right now, like, Lady Deathstrike's part of their Weapon X team, which is amazing in War, one of your best War offense teams. Ravager, Stitcher, and Star-Lord T'Challa are a 1-2 combo in War as well. Ravagers are a really, really good War team. Doc, the Sinister Six team has kind of fallen off, but Doc is a really good option. A big, well-built Doc is always pesky and really kind of annoying to fight on War defense because he's blocking and healing up a lot. So, you know, there's some really good options here. Kestrel and Doom, obviously, your two best options for tech. I mean, Kestrel and Doom are going to take a long time before they become bad characters. Kestrel, you know, she was released like last year's anniversary event, and she still is just such a dominant character. It's going to be a long time before Kestrel really falls off. Same thing with Doom. Like, Doom's countered by Kestrel, but Doom's really, really good in any game mode you want to use him on, except for Arena. Like, Arena, he's gotten pushed out now, but Alliance War, he's great. He's a mainstay in your tech raid nodes. So, yeah, so really good options there. And then, we already talked about with Mystic. We're going to do some testing with new warriors. If you're lower tiers of Doom 2, like, I've heard from quite a few people that up at the high tiers of the Doom raid, new warriors have issues in terms of survivability. And I haven't really noticed that yet at 2.2. We're going to do some exploring on this. But at lower tiers of the Doom raid, 2.0, 2.1, 2.2, I haven't really had a problem with them yet. I can see from time to time where things can get a little sketchy, and there's a Doc Ock built into one of the nodes, so the whole offense down with speed bar reduction is completely negated. And I know when we get like Doom 3 or whatever new raid in the future, they're just going to throw a bunch of Docs into the Mystic nodes, and they're going to completely negate new wars at that point. It's going to be a dick move, but it's totally what I expect Scopely to do. But, you know, Eternals, your two Eternals plus Deathpool are really a good mainstay of any Mystic raid team. Your two new warriors with, or two other new warriors with Cloak and Dagger are really good. I do want to see what Agatha Harkness can do with the Mystic nodes. And also, I think Strange Supreme, Hentai Strange, Evil Strange, whatever you want to call him, also a really good character. But I think also the full Darkhold team on its own could end up being really, really gross in there. So we're going to see how that all pans out in the future. And then in terms of other, I think we covered everything. We covered mutants, tech, skill, bio, and mystic. So we're good to go there. And really quick, we can just go over war. Your best war offense team right now is going to be Weapon X. At this point, Heroes for Hire, they're really starting to see a lot of counters come into play. You know, Weapon X still your premier war offense team. One thing to keep in mind is that your Marauders have got a pretty significant buff to the point where the only teams that really hard counter them are like your best war offense teams right now. Eternals, Infinity Watch. Infinity Watch is probably going to be your go-to Marauder counter now. You know, Shadowland gets destroyed. Skeleton gets destroyed. There is an X Factor with Zemo and Namor that seems to work pretty well. But if it's a boosted team, I'm not quite sure the viability of that. We'll have to do some like real-world testing with that once Madeline pops up. But this Marauder team, take out Sabretooth, bring in Emma. Fantastic war defense team. They've gotten a huge buff. If you've got Marauders built up already, fantastic. Like, if you've got tier 12 on your Marauders and you're in, like, a Plat 2 alliance, they're still definitely worth building up. Like, they're going to be a very strong war defense team for a while. They'll get power crept over the next, like, 6 months. We'll eventually start seeing more counters to them. But right now, Madeline Pryor's got, like, one of the top 5 damage stats in the game. She's very powerful. She brings in a huge boost to speed bar on Strife. And with Mystique on the team, he is almost impossible to get rid of the taunt on him. So you're stuck behind him while Madeline and Emma just kind of pick off your team. Mr. Sinister's Chloe, the highest damage character on your team. Yeah. They're a pesky team now. So if you've got them built up already, fantastic. You're going to be good to go. This is definitely a team to be invested in if you're really caring about war and want a strong war defense team. This is one to keep an eye on. But that's going to really wrap it up at this point. We've gone on long enough. Is there other teams you think I have not mentioned, you think I should be mentioning more? Anything you guys have questions or comments, thoughts, ideas, concerns, anything like that, drop them down below in the comments section. Again, if you guys have enjoyed this video, you found it helpful or informative, make sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. I will see you guys next time.